7 decades of Mountain Home Air Force Base. In 1942, Mountain Home Air Force Base was built and established in 3 months. It was originally an Army Air Corps training installation, a soldier's lonely assignment in a vast desert, training for a mission called World War II. After World War II ended and the Cold War took root, Mountain Home Air Force Base became a more solid, permanent, self-supporting city executing the nation's business. The expansion and the changing missions of Mountain Home Air Force Base leading up to the present have also created a new awareness of this area and its resources.
Welcome, gunfighters. I'm Colonel Ron Buckley, commander of the 366th Fighter Wing. And on behalf of Mountain Home Air Force Base, we thank you for your service and dedication. It is the Wing's privilege and responsibility to take care of gunfighters. Whether military members or families, at home or abroad, we take everyone's health and well-being seriously. I am here to speak to you today about the upcoming environmental soil and air sampling event that will be taking place in base housing for 2 weeks in August. Historically, from the 1950s to the 1980s, it was common construction practice nationwide, including here at Mountain Home Air Force Base, to apply pesticides to all residential houses and use asbestos in transite pipe water distribution systems. Our upcoming sampling event continues our ongoing efforts to partner with state and federal agencies and the Idaho Department of Environmental Quality to ensure the health and safety of our residents on base, and to verify the exact level of any residual chemicals, which we anticipate to be very low. Workers conducting the sampling process will be wearing protective clothing required by the Occupational Safety and Health Administration and the Environmental Protection Agency. You might see people wearing partial respirators and coveralls while raking or mowing lawns as they collect soil and air samples. When the sampling is complete, we will announce the results and the health risk assessment in November. Please take the time to become familiar with this upcoming sampling and feel free to ask any questions you might have.
With the goal of the Air Force to modernize base housing and improve quality of life, Mountain Home Air Force Base replaced old row-style, high-density military housing with more modern neighborhoods to include green space and playgrounds. Preliminary investigations suggest no significant risk to residents exist from pesticide and asbestos. However, due to insufficient data, we feel that we need more information to ensure we evaluate the issues adequately. Pesticides are used for pest control. However, in 1988, U.S. EPA prohibited the use of one pesticide, chlordane, which was used nationwide from 1948 up until 1988. All pesticides were applied per label instructions to create a protective barrier around foundations. Personnel will be wearing PPE, walking around with a hand auger, taking small soil samples from the top 6 inches and placing it in a bowl. These samples will be sent to a laboratory and results will indicate if any future actions are needed. Before housing was removed, all houses were surveyed for asbestos-containing material, ACM, and this material was removed and properly disposed according to federal regulations. In 2007, during the construction of new MFH, an abandoned water line was broken during trenching. The buried concrete water line contained asbestos material. Activity-based air sampling for asbestos. For this study sample, personnel will be wearing protective clothing so they can participate in the sampling activity. The activities will consist of raking and mowing. You might see people wearing partial respirators and/or coveralls, protective clothing, while raking and/or mowing lawns as they collect air samples to test for potentially hazardous products, i.e. asbestos, asbestos fibers, particles, products. Each lawn mowing participant will be wearing a partial respirator and coveralls and may or may not have a backpack with a collection filter near their breathing zone while operating a gas-powered lawnmower.
Most of your questions should be answered by our informational boards or my environmental, bioenvironmental, civil engineering, medical, and gunfighter legal team who are here today. However, if you have any questions in the future, you may contact my Public Affairs office for further assistance or direction. I want you to know the health and well-being of gunfighters today and in the future is our top concern. Thank you for coming, and I hope you benefit from today's information forum. Ride hard, shoot straight, and always speak the truth.